was it this time?
No. Okay, we are live. We've got about 2 minutes.
Okay. 2 minutes.
There's a new, you guys had asked me for a organizational chart with all the names on it, so it's in your folder. There's a board brochure and application in your folder. Seems like there's one other thing I put in there too. Maybe it was just the two, the application, the brochure, and the
Order signature document?
Don't have a pen, do you? Yes, I have a pencil, but not a pen.
So we should all put these in our notebook thing.
Yeah.
I have a work order signature document, I'm assuming I got, because my last name is first. Just because it usually winds up on top and then people.
probably, I'm sure that's what happened. Thank you. It was probably something somebody's wondering what happened to. Did you get the other stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
When I had a mailbox that was alphabetical order at my school, it was right underneath the one that was generic for principal, so I got so much stuff from my, administrators. Or intended to get them, I should say.
One time they came and worked on my computer and they left me full access to everything in the district. I got on there and I called them and I said, I don't think I'm supposed to have this. And they said, oh, you can't have that much. And I started listing some things. They're like, we'll be right over. I said,
Pass that over to Becky. And
yes,
I'll sign the rest of
who
them.
worked there, how they worked there, who, yeah, I didn't look at any of that, but I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
it got up under the.
Poorly.
There's two of them actually, they got it.
Unless I left it in there, and I didn't get it out. Okay, 7 o'clock, so, I'd like to call this meeting of the Real Board of Trustees to order. We begin with roll call.
Oh, sorry. You from doing your job.
Michelle?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Carlin?
yes.
Becky? Yes. Patty? Yes, I'm here. Dan?
Yes.
Molly?
Yes.
Judy? She was here. She's somewhere here.
Sure.
Mike? And
Leanna.
Leanna. Leanna said she wasn't coming last week, I'm pretty sure that.
She did,
Or
at the last meeting,
Last
yes.
month, yes.
I forgot about that, but yeah.
But Mike's not on there? Oh, I don't know. Are you on line, Mike? Oh, Mike, hello? No? I didn't get a response, so unless he's muted, okay. Okay, and Judy has her rest. Okay, we got everybody? All right. Jay, are you wanting to make some comments?
I'm just gonna welcome everybody to the Warrensburg branch. Thank you for taking the tour and looking at all of our cool stuff and all that stuff. So yeah, just welcome. Thank you for showing us around. Absolutely.
The library looks very nice.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Ours look nice outside too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the ponds outside, yes.
I have paint to paint those if it ever stops raining.
We've been trying, almost a month, we've been
I've
trying to
been
get.
pretty close to a month and I'm just like, okay,
Just let it rain, it'll stop. In July, it's gonna be 100 degrees, and we're gonna be going, what, I want rain.
It was our, actually it was our custodian, Melissa, she planted everything out there.
I found it interesting that there was the little labels of what the plants are,
Yes.
because not everybody knows what the
I know,
plants are.
we've had patrons looking and seeing what all the plants are and everything.
Yeah.
That was a very good idea.
Yes, yeah, and the kids love it. The kids absolutely love when they come up here because they get to see everything. She's doing a great job, doing a great job.
That's good.
Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jane.
I'm gonna head out.
Okay,
Go ahead
all right.
and shut the door.
I can do that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, first item on our agenda is the consent agenda. Any questions or comments? Okay, do I hear a motion?
I move to accept the consent agenda as presented. Second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to accept the consent agenda as listed. Will you take a vote, please?
Michelle,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
Carlin,
Yes.
Becky, yes, Patty,
Yes?
Dan,
Yes.
Judy, yes, Goldie.
Yes.
Does anyone else join?
Anybody online? I don't think so, it doesn't look like it, okay. All right. Discussion? Okay, motion carried. All right, let's move on to unfinished business. The item there is the Concordia Lions Club mural project. Okay, and I suppose that tonight we need to decide yes or no if we're going to do that. Did y'all read the attorney's opinion? Okay, anybody? Questions, comments?
How does the Concordia Library, staff feel about it?
The branch manager would prefer not to have it. I think she had sent some information in the last packet. I did include that, right? Her concerns, and she would rather not. She's kind of concerned with the patriotic theme and how that could potentially be perceived. And then also the wall, we don't know.
I really don't, no.
I mean, hopefully it's fixed this time, but
Well, from what the attorney said, at least the way I read it, there's a potential for a lot of problems to come from that if we're, even if we're careful, so.
I think seeing as how we're a public domain instead of a privately owned business, that
I agree.
maybe we shouldn't take a political stand and, it's a great idea, but I don't know that it's gonna work for the library.
And his artwork is really spectacular.
Is it something, I know they have other options of places, is it something that we could table and revisit later?
I mean, it's the board's wishes. I mean, yeah, you could always table it and discuss it at another meeting.
What's gonna change till later, though? We're still gonna be a public domain, we're still gonna have politics involved. And I mean, I'm just asking you what you think might be different.
Well, I don't necessarily think that it is a bad thing, because we have approval of what they put up. So if it is something, I mean, I didn't see anything that I felt was specifically political in anything they already had. And, you know, it's a request from the community, and it would bring people to get their pictures, because you get pictures taken by that sometimes. And it might bring more people into the library. As far as waiting, since they had other options of people or other options of buildings, I just don't see that it's necessarily political, that we need to worry about it being political. That's my personal opinion, but. They wanted something patriotic. Right.
So I think they are saying it has to be patriotic.
No, yeah, patriotic, yeah, that's
It has to be
one of the
patriotic.
requirements.
It has to be patriotic. That's because they're trying to get the legislatures got a bill to turn them into the patriotic city of Missouri or something like that.
Something, yeah.
Patriotic mural city. So I do think it has to be, the way I understood it from what Mr. Meeser told me. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, it's like the lawyer said, right now, it's just something patriotic, but you're opening yourself up to a lot of other groups wanting to put something on the library too. So that's another problem. I could see it opening up.
I could see that as well, but I mean, we have the final say in yes or no. Are you thinking that somebody might end up
offended that we say no and like in the future?
No, I'm saying whatever they put on the library, it may be great for today and maybe 5 years down the road, but at some point, somebody might find offense to it. And then it could cause a problem, and it could also open you up to other groups wanting to paint something or put something on the library. I understand that, and then it's gonna become, well, why did you let them and you're not letting us? You know,
The why not us, I can see as being problematic. I'm amazed at what people are able to be offended by,
I know.
constantly. And I mean, I'm someone who does get offended sometimes, but usually I can say, no, that's not cool. So I can see why it has potential to be something sticky, whether it should or not. I know yeah.
Would you all be willing to have them come up with some options that we could look at? I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
That might be worthwhile if they were willing to go that step, or if they had things in mind for however many locations and letting us see what they're doing there. When you mentioned tabling it for now, one of my thoughts was, well, if, you know, they had 7 or 8 other murals up that we could also see, we could get a real feel for.
There are some other murals.
I've seen those, but I'm thinking like the next generation and kind of see where that's going.
Right?
Once again, I just worry about us being a public domain, and everything else is private. And I think it could open us up to, well, if you let them put something on the wall, then why can't we put something on the wall? And,
I mean, I'm with Carl, and I'd love to see a gorgeous mural.
oh, I would too, but
There's just so many minefields going on at the moment that.
and it's not so much with them, it's what it could open you up to.
What would this contract look like? It says, I mean, once I have a contract with them, I have the 5 pages long with language in the contract. How much is it gonna cost to draw up this
And
contract?
hadn't they said they didn't have that in other, so it would be.
I mean, it would be, you know, however long it took our attorney to do it, probably.
And what's
Pay him out
what's
of
he
one
gonna
sector
charge?
cost.
What's he charging?
Time spent.
I would wanna know if this group would even want to sign a contract. Be legally bound by that.
Yeah,
So they, once they sign that, they're stuck. So, in a manner of speaking, in a good manner of speaking. Yeah, exactly. But they will protect us. I'm glad he mentioned that, because it becomes a shield.
again, though, like Harlan said, it's not gonna protect you from somebody else saying, well, you know, we wanna put this up or we wanna do that. It's not you let them, why can't we? I mean, I don't know that that's gonna happen, but it could. I think we're opening ourselves up to potential for some other problems, is what I see, but. And I'm not opposed to the murals either, they're very nice, they look good, but,
My biggest concern is kind of like what Jane said. There's so many minefields right now, and there's so much, you know, political with libraries right now. That would just be my fear right now. You know, maybe 3 years down the road, that'll straighten out and it won't be, I wouldn't be fearful of it. But that's my concern.
We're just a taxpayer's public domain.
And a lot of the taxpayers might not like what's put up there. They don't like what's been going on, the book banning and so forth. And they put up something, they were talking about perhaps the Library of Congress or something like that. And I mean, there may be, a lot of people may think it's wonderful to have on there, and some people may think,
There's an agenda behind it.
that's what I feel like is gonna be the issue.
If we were private, I wouldn't have an issue with it, but we're talking about where.
That's because we want those same taxpayers to vote, to give more money to the library.
Definitely want their support.
Yeah. Anything else? Does somebody want to make a motion?
Can't make a negative motion.
No, it has to be positive.
I move that we allow a patriotic mural to be painted on the north wall of the Concordia Branch Trails. Library.
I second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that we allow a patriotic mural to be painted on the north wall of the library in Concordia. Any discussion?
Does this have to be unanimous?
I don't think so. I don't think
The
so.
only thing unanimous is if you change the bylaws, the way it's written the first time, and then it can be brought back and then still be passed as a majority.
Okay.
Could we add to what you said? Amend the
You
motion?
can amend it.
And it subject to library board approval of the topic. Does that make sense?
So it can't be a negative motion, so the motion was to approve putting it there with approval,
With the.
design approval
Yes.
Design approval, yeah.
of the board.
Oh, wait, no, okay, state the motion as you think it should be said, because I didn't, I didn't hear it.
to say what I have?
Yeah, because I didn't hear what you said.
To allow a patriotic mural to be painted on the north wall of the Concordia Library with design approval by the Board of Trustees.
About subject to final by the Board of Trustees, because that would cover whether we wanted to do it or not.
Okay. All right, is everybody clear on the motion? Okay, discussion? All right, please, let's take a vote.
Michelle? No. Jane? No. Harlan?
No.
Becky? No. Patty?
No.
Dan?
No.
Judy?
No.
Goldie?
Yes.
Okay, so motion failed, is that right?
Yeah.
Is that what, yeah, motion failed.
How will we notify the Lions Club? How will we notify the Lions Club?
Oh,
I can notify them if you want me to.
yeah,
I mean,
that's probably a good thing to decide, yeah, who's gonna do it or
I mean,
not.
they were emailing me and all, so.
Right. Okay.
I think I have, yeah, thank you. I lost his name for a second.
Wow.
I think I have his, phone numbers as well, so.
Yeah, I just phone number to the few. Okay, never mind, I didn't say that. Okay. All right, so let's move on to new business. Consider approval of the the Quarter Branch Manager Credit Card with a limit of $500. And from what your note said, all the branch managers have a $500 credit card to spend on like supplies or whatever it is that they need. Okay,
Mainly programming.
mainly programming, okay.
Is there a reason why Quarter hasn't had one?
They did, but the branch manager left, and so we can't just transfer that card,
Okay,
and I have to have approval for that person to have.
okay.
I make a motion that we approve the Quarter Branch Manager to have a credit card with a limit of.
Second?
Okay, motion has been made and seconded that we allow the Quarter Branch Manager to have a credit card with a credit limit of $500. Any more discussion? Okay, vote please.
Michelle?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Becky? Yes. Patty?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Goldie?
Yes.
All right, motion carried. All right, the next item on our agenda is to approve the meeting dates and locations for the next fiscal year. Or anything that
First thing I
anybody,
noticed, it says July 1, which is a Monday.
oh,
Yeah.
Is it the 17th?
I'm sure it is, if that's the third Wednesday. Thank you for catching that.
yeah,
I
okay.
was like,
Yeah, that threw me for a loop.
You're like, I'll still be going for Fourth of July, what are you talking about?
Are any of the other dates wrong, I wonder?
well, I was thinking about the 28th, just because it's the fourth Wednesday, I think, instead of.
In August, we always move it to the fourth Wednesday because of our tax levy, in order to,
I figured there was a reason.
Because what, the tax levy is when they approve it or something, and
so you guys have to approve the tax levy, but I don't get all of that in.
the information
The
isn't
hearing.
there, and, yeah,
Right, I don't have everything, it would really push us to have it for that third week,
okay.
and so, yeah, so.
We just were in Lexington.
Well, I know Lexington's on here twice.
What is it?
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
We were just in Lexington.
Yeah, Lexington
Are we
should not be
missing
on
somebody
that.
else?
Who are we missing?
Odessa, no, there's Odessa.
This is next month.
Knob's on here.
One of them is supposed to be Warrensburg.
So there's,
I think the August one, because weren't we in,
We were
Were we
just
in-
in Lexington.
but weren't we in Lexington last year for the tax levy hearing?
No, I hadn't been to Lexington
And we haven't been.
the
Okay,
last time.
so then that should be Lexington, the other Lexington should be Warrensburg.
So the April.
So
should be
April,
Warrensburg?
Yes.
So we're going back to Lexington this year?
When we do the tax levy hearing, we do it here
And then
and
in
then in
Lexington.
Lexington, and we alternate.
Gotcha.
So yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna be there twice.
Okay, so April 2025 will be Warrensburg.
Yes.
and then August 28th will be in Lexington.
Yes.
Okay. All right, do we have to vote on this? I guess we do, don't we? Okay. Anything else you want to change or that looks bad? Not looks bad, but that's.
I will say, I'll probably have the same conference at the same time as my home branch again. It's
Aw.
housing spot conference.
And could we switch around with somebody else? Would you want us to do that? I mean, now's when we need to do it if you want to do
We
that.
could switch it to April, to Warrensburg in March and Holton in April.
If that's okay with
We
everybody
already
else.
have Warrensburg in April. But you moved that Lexington to
Yeah, but you mean
Warrensburg.
Holden, move March and, yeah.
Holden to April.
Because she'll have, at her home branch, she'll be gone on conference.
Oh, I don't care.
So it would be Warrensburg in March,
Probably change the date.
Holden in April. Is that what we said? Warrensburg, March, Holden, April, right?
All right.
Getting all smug over here, you guys. I don't have some of these papers, so it's okay. I don't know, I've missed a couple of pages. But it's fine.
Did they not get in your packet?
You want me to read them off? When they?
Well, no, I still do. So.
Sorry about that. That's okay.
I looked online, so I saw it there.
Oh, okay.
And the scan has every other page is blank, so.
Okay, I wanna,
Yeah, because my copy is one-sided, but some of it's two-sided, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I just wanna make sure, that August 28th is Lexington, okay, and then March is Warrensburg, and then April is Lexington.
No, hold it.
Holden, I knew that. I knew that.
We started with it being Lexington.
And
Yeah, I was
July
guessing,
meeting
yeah.
is the 17th, not the first.
Got it.
Okay, so is that everything that we need to change? Okay, can I hear a motion to that effect?
I move to accept the revised version of the meeting dates for 2024, 2025.
Your second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to accept the revised list of meeting dates for fiscal year 2025. All right, take a vote, please.
Michelle?
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Carolyn,
Yes.
Becky, yes, Patty,
Yes?
Dan,
Yes.
Judy.
Of course.
Oh.
Okay, the motion carried. Is that right? Did I get? Yeah. Okay, so now we're down to, okay, we consider the applicants for, recommendation to the Johnson County seat that's coming open.
And this would be Goldie, because she was fulfilling an expired term.
Okay, and so we had Goldie and one other person that we had an application for.
Paul. And Patricia, I know you know this, but, I accepted a position at Georgia Southern University that's gonna start at the beginning of August. I can be here for the July meeting. It'll be 2 days before I move. Or if you would like to have someone else start at that meeting. Yeah, just so it's that full term, it might be easier. So, I mean, I'll still watch y'all on TV and stuff. So.
We have a fan.
You do.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a challenging decision, but it's the right decision. And I get to be almost exactly halfway between my parents and where my sister lives now. So,
Where?
And
I'm gonna be in, Statesboro, Georgia, which is just, west of Savannah, which is one of my favorite places in the universe. So, and it's a good position. It's good to have a choice rather than needing to move to be closer to my parents because of an urgent situation. So,
Absolutely.
congratulations.
thank you. I'm excited and sad all at the same time.
Yeah. So you think it's best we started in June, that would be less?
That they would start at July 1, it would be.
Or July 1,
Yeah,
yeah.
and do a full term, yeah.
If
Well,
you're not-
unexpired, I think yours would be unexpired.
Yeah.
So either way, you're starting at the beginning of a fiscal year.
That was my thought, on board
Yeah, that
straight
would
away.
be simpler. Okay, so we actually want to pick two to recommend then?
I would assume, yeah.
Can we do that? Since we haven't advertised
Okay,
it.
we only advertised the one.
You still got applications.
Yeah.
I mean, we can advertise again and bring it back what we get next month. I mean, it's whatever the board would like.
I mean, I personally don't care, but I just don't want us to do something we get in trouble.
Yeah, no, we advertised, and so we didn't say necessarily.
said
how many.
opening
Yeah, we just said
for
opening
Johnson
and
County.
collecting applications.
Yeah. Because I don't think you said one, I just said.
That app-
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I don't know Paul. However, I stalked him a little bit in a loving way on Facebook and found my friends who did, and they thought that he would be a good option.
And I met him recently when I did a presentation for the Rotary Club. So he introduced himself to me.
And I know him through one degree of, separation because his partner, Susie Latar, I work with her at the university and of course know her from everything in town. So I waved at him multiple times and made small talk.
So what do we, let's see. We just have to make a recommendation, right? Yeah, okay. So,
Are there more applicants? Okay, just sold these.
These are the only applications I have received to date. I know we have, Lafayette County that's open, but we haven't received any applications for Lafayette. So if you know anybody.
Candidates.
Have you reached out to any of the other applicants? Because I know we had like, what, 8 or 9 at one.
I haven't, but I can go through them and see if anybody.
From Johnson.
I think they were all Johnson County. I believe, I'll have to look. I will make note of that and I will wait.
The only one from Lafayette County,
We recommended, right?
well, she's in charge of the foundation now.
Cheryl.
So she couldn't do both. Sorry, I blanked on her name, I couldn't remember it.
Well, I thought they could do both, but they can't serve on the, as an officer.
You're right.
They're an officer.
They can't serve as an officer.
That she could be on the board, but she can't serve as an officer. If she's an officer on the,
Is an officer.
right.
Okay, that's, we're doing Johnson County tonight, because we don't have.
Yeah.
Right, that's what's on the agenda, so that's what's on the agenda, okay? All right, so, does anybody have,
I move we send both Goldie and Paul's application to the county commissioners, recommending them.
second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that we accept the application of Goldie Edwards and Paul Polychronis, is that, am I saying that right? I think so.
I think so.
Okay, to recommend as board members from Johnson County. Discussion? Okay,
Because we do have two seats, correct? Am I correct in
No.
that? Goldies and Michelle.
yeah.
Can we separate the voting so that I could vote for Paul?
Sure, we can.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'm gonna vote for him, but.
Sure. So do we have to make a motion?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so do we like,
I'll revise my motion, just to move Goldie's for approval.
okay, so, and who seconded that?
I did.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded to, recommend Goldie Edwards as a board member for Johnson County. Did I say that right? Yes, okay. All right, let's vote, please.
Michelle?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Carlin?
Yes.
Becky? Yes. Patty?
Yes?
Dan?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Can I call on Goldie?
I abstain.
Okay. I'm like, I already knew what you were gonna say.
Okay, so that motion carries, so Goldie is, we will recommend Goldie to the county commission for the Johnson County seat. Now, if you want to make a motion about the other person.
I make a motion that we recommend Paul P. To the, county commission as a member, representing Johnson County.
Second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that we, recommend Paul. Paul P. to, as a applicant for the Johnson County seat. Yeah, for the Johnson County seat. Okay, all in favor, take a vote.
Michelle?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Carlin?
Yes.
Becky? Yes. Patty?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so, motion carried, so we're, Goldie and Paul P. are gonna be recommended from the Board of Trustees. Okay. All right, now the next item is consider approval for the Quarter Ranch to be a polling location for Lafayette County. Did you get any
I've never
information from that?
received any additional information. I even, either called or emailed, saying, hey, I really need this. And I still didn't get it. So, I mean, if you guys wanted to table that or go ahead and approve, I mean, whatever.
I mean, I guess, can we say that it's okay if it goes through the county, or do we have to wait until they have said it's okay, or what's the best way to do that?
I don't know because they never sent me the paperwork. My recommendation would be to table it until you get the information. You don't want to agree to something and then there's terms in there, so.
Why did they stop using it as a polling place, do you know?
We stopped using the library because the gentleman across the street who owned the building had it fixed up, redone, and he offered that. And so we moved it out of the library and over there. And now he was living with a woman and she died of cancer. And he wants to stay in there, like on the weekends and stuff, but he's fixed it up as a home now.
Yeah.
So he no longer wants to,
No, he doesn't feel he can because there's gonna be furniture all over. In the past, it was a big open room.
Right.
The clerk probably is just overwhelmed with all of her new duties, and she
Well, it would be a day that we're closed,
Right.
if that's what you're at, yeah.
No, she means the county clerk.
The county.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's probably overwhelmed with her new duties.
I'm sure, yeah. Hasn't been that long since she's been in that role, the
So-
interim, or I guess she's officially now, I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know if she's been appointed yet. She took over and, I mean, the long story short was, I don't know, I thought the governor had to appoint or something, or okay her thing. And then they contacted the Bucket County Democrat organization and gave them 2 weeks if they wanted to put up a candidate to run against her in November. And the Democrat Club felt that, number one, it was kind of a short thing. But they also felt like it wasn't fair because why should, the Democrat organization put a name out there? It should have been Jennifer Middleton should have turned in her resignation a couple weeks earlier so that anybody in the county could have filed. Yeah. So there's some,
Politics.
I agree with that one. It's like they just appointed this woman and Jennifer knew she was leaving and could have very easily resigned. Besides, one day after the filing,
So, probably our best idea is to table it.
That would be my
Okay.
recommendation.
Okay, so do I hear a motion to that effect?
I move that we table this request until more information or the request is actually made by the appropriate official.
Second?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that we table the request to use the Porter Library as an election site until we have further information from the county clerk. Okay, discussion more? Okay, take a vote, please.
Michelle,
yes,
Jane,
yes.
Harlan,
Yes.
Becky, yes, Patty,
Yes?
Dan,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Goldie.
Yes.
Sorry. I do a lot of meetings. I'm used to doing it.
Okay. And now, let's move on to our discussion of the foundation board meeting minutes. I'm not sure what you want us to discuss.
Well, this was, so you wanted them to come one time and then just submit their minutes. So I just caught you up at the last year. And of course, they just had one May 1st. And so that's in draft form and has not been approved by their board. So, and I think I marked on this, but.
Okay, does anybody have anything they want to ask, or?
Do they meet quarterly?
Yes.
No, it's nice to know just what they're doing.
Do they,
I'm sorry.
I was just amazed at the money that they have in the foundation.
And if I understand it, they're still discussing what the foundation money could be used for.
I like the terminology. There was a lively discussion.
Yeah.
I've been part of lively discussions before.
One is interesting to see if requests have been made to them for something that maybe should be coming to us, or, was it considered before, and then so we said no, and it went to, it's interesting to see.
So the branch managers put in a budget request to me, and this is early in the year. So at that time, I have them go ahead if there's anything that they would like to ask the foundation for. And so then I present that to the foundation. So some of the things, and some of them I was kind of like, why did we ask the foundation, for that? Some of the other things, and of course they approved some things last year, but then this year they're tabling everything for 6 months. When there's been money given to those branches for what the branch needs. Now, not all of it is, some of it's designated for building and things like that. So,
So, let's say someone passes away and they want money for a certain branch. That goes to the foundation.
It doesn't necessarily have to. We have designated gifts, and that's where, when we are bequeathed, funds, then we have that, and we have the legal paperwork that goes along with it. And then it goes in our designated gifts. And then it's for that specific purpose. And then the board has to approve, whether it's during the budget process or like you guys did a couple months ago, to spend that money for the Lexington project. So board has to have approval to spend those funds.
How do people who want to donate money, how do they know the difference between donating to the library versus donating to the foundation?
Some of them want it, because they want a 501c3, which I believe our foundation is. And so a lot of people think that they have to have that for it to be a tax credit, I think is what it's called. But they don't have to, because we are a public library. So a lot of people aren't aware of that. They think they have to funnel that donation through a 501c3.
We are also nonprofit.
Yes, we are. And so, I didn't bring it with me, but I do have some information on that so that if there are questions. And it's kind of what their preference is. So if they want to donate to the foundation or if they want to donate to the library. If you look on our website, as far as what their goals are, they're nowhere near reaching any of those goals because they require a lot of fundraising, and there's not, other than book sales, there's no fundraising that is going on.
I was just curious, if, if people wanted to make a donation, how they would know what type of donation they wanted, like who do they contact?
Usually they go to the branch manager, and some are sent to administration, or they call administration. A lot of times they're gonna come to their local branch, because that's the branch that they want to benefit from their donation. And then we were telling branches, okay, just send the donations to the foundation. But if it's gonna be that hard for them to be able to use that money for what they need, then maybe we need to not send every donation through them, so that then we can get the things that that branch needs.
Well, I do know that, some people who have donated, I think thought that their donation would be used sooner for a branch. So maybe there needs to be something that could be given to people that said, here are a couple of options for donating and how you want to do it, because people aren't gonna know that.
We can work on some brochures or something along those lines so that they could understand that. We don't have anything like that right now. And I know I've talked to a few of you, but I do have some concerns regarding the foundation and some things that we don't necessarily need to talk about that now. But at some point, I expect to bring that to you guys for a discussion.
They've got a lot of money in their balance, over $200,000.
Well, but it's also not fair that some branches are able to, ask them to buy stuff and other branches aren't. So you let all the branches ask, or they shouldn't be going to the foundation and asking for things purchased.
At our manager's training day on May 3rd, I did let them know that if they did not want to funnel donations through the foundation, that I was okay with that. Because then we have access to those funds and can purchase what's needed for those branches. Similar to the donation in Holden, the Memorial Foundation.
Yeah, because I mean, I can understand the family's concern that that money was donated in December and none of it had been spent, it hadn't showed up in the library, and they are concerned about where their money went. Well, and I think that, and why it's taking so long to see a result. Well, and I mean,
I don't have a problem with the foundation handling money or the library handling money, but I think that on the foundation's part, they probably do need guidelines and working with the library, you know, what type of things can be purchased. I know that, you know, I think there was some concern that a lot of furniture had been requested, but we're kind of in an unusual situation because when it came to COVID, a lot of furniture in the past had to be thrown away. And so that kind of left a gap. And so I could understand why that was requested later. But,
And as far as the furniture, and that's something that, you know, some of the branches don't understand. I mean, Warrensburg got so much furniture purchased through the foundation this fiscal year.
right,
Where another branch, they were told it had to be tabled because they needed to go find and see if they could get this bench free from somewhere else. They eventually did get a free one. I think the city put one there. And so they didn't have to, actually, I brought it back, but I had news, to let them know that they did actually get a free one. But I mean, that's been a year that it was kind of tabled. And so, you know, there's a lot, you know, the perception, right? So, well, Warrensburg got all this new furniture, so, but why are they denying our request? And there were some furniture. The comment was made that, that's stuff that should be in our budget and that we should, and I told them, I said, that's fine. I understand we put furniture in our budget as well, but our priority right now is facilities. We have to get these facilities, the maintenance and everything up on those facilities. That's big money items there. So if it's gonna come to a new HVAC system or folding chairs, you're gonna go with the HVAC system.
Right.
It costs a whole lot more than those chairs. So,
but yeah, I just think that there's a lot of,
It just seems like the distribution is favoring one branch over another.
or it's inconsistent. And I think if people want to donate money in any way to the library and or the foundation, we need to be clear with people what their money, where their money is going and how it's going to get there.
I mean, it looks bad. It's a black eye on our organization that a family is donating money and they're not seeing it. And it was specifically supposed to be for that branch and they're not seeing it. Two of them. So that's a black eye on us in the community.
It feels like there needs to be a transparent, application process that is open to all branches and guidelines for approval, whether it's based on equality among the branches, you have a shot at whatever available amount of money, if it's ranked in order of priority, if it's ranked in order of number of residents in community service or whatever. But without transparency, people are gonna wonder what's going on with money that they're getting.
Well, I mean, and I understand Warrensburg is a bigger branch. It does probably have some bigger needs. And I don't have a problem with that, but when other branches are told, no, you don't get anything, but Warrensburg got all of this, then that just doesn't seem, it just doesn't seem very fair.
There needs to be
Well,
why.
and the money allocated for certain branches.
Yes, it's budgeted,
So, yeah.
but they're not getting it.
I know, so there's money there that. you spent
yeah,
that-
so yeah, I have to track that money for what it's supposed to be for. So it's branches, or there's some that's designated for just general. And then there are some branches that have a building fund as well as just what it can be spent on, but there's some that are designated for building. And so I think a lot of that information has been lost in transition somewhere, because I don't know that there's a log of what that money was, like, the money was designated for.
Well, and the foundation has a responsibility on some of the gifts that, are repeating to make sure that they have money to do that. And I'm not saying that they're not doing that, but it does seem that, it seems like maybe they need
a committee, and we need a committee to kind of sit down and look at that. That would be one. Yeah, work together.
Maybe some of the other stuff when we have that discussion too.
Yeah.
I know I've talked to some of you about, my concerns and my frustrations.
Because, I mean, I think, our group and their group, we have a common goal of wanting to make sure that the libraries are the best that they can be. And I do think with a lot of the transitions on both sides, we kind of don't know what we don't know what the other hand is doing, so.
Oh, and is the foundation an organization that's under our?
No,
No.
they are
They're their
a
own
completely
organization?
separate organization. They have their own bylaws, all of, yeah. The only thing is you guys appoint their board members. Not just recommend, but you actually appoint their board members. And, and then they're audited with our books at the same time, just save money, basically. Because if they had to do it on their own, it'd be very expensive.
Okay, there's really nothing we have to vote on, we're just, yeah, anything else that we haven't covered that you think you want to
No,
bring
because
up?
at another time, I want to bring that when we don't have as much on the
Okay, okay, all right. Let's move on then to, consider approval of the staff can't even talk. Staff recognition committee proposal. Dan, have you got stuff on that?
Yeah, I can.
Or does
And
anybody want to
and
have,
were you-
does Dan, they want to ask Dan anything?
And were you ready to approve that? Were you ready for approval tonight?
Unless people have objections.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if it was absolutely complete or not, so.
I mean, there could be some fleshing out, but as far as I'm concerned, we could move forward with it. The basic framework is here. There would need to be things like, the survey itself would need to be developed so it's online. And not just like the Trailblazer nomination, that I was thinking of like a Google survey where you go online and just fill all this information in, and it's sent to your email box basically, and then you kind of hold on to all of
I'll
it
probably send
until,
them to Tessa.
yeah, and then at the end of each quarter,
So who makes the nomination?
it would be, it could be anybody that works, it's basically anybody, is what we had.
So it's open to the public.
It's open to the public. Yeah, there would be like a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper on a display at each of the front desks or wherever, for anybody to be able to see. I was thinking at the front desk, because everybody's coming by to check in their book or whatever. And then they, do a nomination, they could scan it. And there'd also be a link, if they don't have the smartphone, they would be able to take, maybe there's like a little sheet of paper they can take with them. So it could be a written submission as well. Yeah, it was, the subcommittee, basically, we just thought it would be open to anybody that wanted to take the time to.
Like
To do it.
patrons or?
Yeah.
Other employees, yeah,
Other employees,
board members?
yeah, exactly. Part of the nomination included the first and last name of the nominee, the branch that they worked at, their job title, if you know, city, the zip code, the email address, phone number, and those can be modified, or we could add things. And then there'd be a box on the online version where they just type in their information, why you're nominating, and I don't think that there would be a character limit. And then describe the amount of initiative, again, that would just be an open box for them to type in, and then additional comments. And then it could be anonymous, but I think it would be helpful if we know who is nominating, that way if we have follow-up questions. Like, maybe there was a detail on nomination, but then wasn't very clear, and we want to reach out, like, what did you mean by that? Can you explain a little bit more? We can go right to the person. So it would be a pretty straightforward nomination form. So yeah, that's the nomination. I didn't have any questions about that.
No, but I have a comment. On the first part of the nomination sheet that you've got here, I think, leaving out the city and the zip code and the email and the phone. We have, you know, there's a lot of older people that come, and besides, they don't do the QR codes or that, and so, and then they need more space, obviously, to fill in writing, but probably they would just know the first and last name of the person and the branch of who they're talking about. And, you know, if you're gonna nominate somebody, you'd have to ask them, what's your email address, what's your phone number, and to do that and get that info, the person working at the library is gonna go, why do you need to know that?
They're not gonna wanna give out personal information.
Give out that info.
It could be optional. It could be an
That's why
optional
it
thing.
says, please provide.
And you can make it like on the, you can put optional or something.
Yeah.
No.
That's a good point, though, Jane, that's because there are a lot of people.
I would say if they put the branch and they have someone's name, we're gonna know who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the nominee, we're just wanting to have the first and last name.
Branch, yeah.
I might, on the bottom part, take off email address, leave it optional, because not everybody wants to give out their email address, because they think they're gonna start
Okay.
getting stuff.
Or even have an email address.
Yeah, yeah, also true.
Okay, take that
Also
off.
true.
Even if it were an email address or phone number, somebody to contact. Because I'd rather somebody email me than make my phone.
Yeah, if you have a phone number, you could still, yeah, contact
Take off the
somebody.
phone number.
And so this, the Trailblazer is given out 4 times a year.
Yes, the Trailblazer would be each quarter, you know, January through March, April through June, and so on. So they could nominate up to the last day of March, last day of June, September, and then December, and then the subcommittee would need to get working pretty quick.
I was gonna say, you probably have to should have a deadline to give the committee some time, so you
Yeah.
can be able to
We
make
don't
a
wanna let it linger too long. I was
No,
thinking it would
no.
need to be worked on, like,
Yeah.
pretty quick. And then it would need to be submitted by the day that you need information
For the board.
for that, like, for April's board meeting. So we can, I don't think we have to do a deadline today on that, but we can figure that out with each
When
quarter.
it's posted, you can.
Exactly. And, you know, the first quarter, we might get 5 nominations, and then the second quarter, we get 100. So it's gonna be a learning curve. So that's gonna be interesting to see how many we actually get.
Would they, say somebody got nominated for a certain quarter, but they didn't get chosen, but they stay in the pool because they were nominated, or they would need to be nominated again?
No, it would have to be re-nominated, so that was the thing. Or I can
We
stay
didn't
in the
talk
pool.
about
Yeah, we
that,
didn't.
so I don't know what you wanna do on that.
I just, you know, somebody might not nominate them again. Just, I mean, you know, it's work to solve the things and say the things, and
So
for somebody not to
nomination-
get recognized just because they weren't the person chosen that time.
Okay. The nominations will carry over.
And maybe. they
Or-
just
or
carry
maybe
over
make
for a
it
certain
for-
period of time.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
carry them over just so long, maybe
that
to the
year.
next quarter or that
Over
year,
to the
yeah.
next quarter.
Or that year or something. We can keep them for
Yeah, 'cause you're doing.
forever.
No, not
What are you calling it, blade?
Let's not tell them that.
No.
That way we want them to do something else.
Yeah.
No, they don't have to know how we're, doing that.
Yeah, we're not.
They Colleen, we're asking about the Blaze Award. That's gonna be chosen from the four
So you have
people, the four quarterly people.
Four from
And one of
Trailblazer.
those persons will be will receive the Blaze Award.
And I have a question. The annual picnic, is that a library event or are we having an annual picnic?
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm happy to arrange a picnic. If that's what it is. I don't care how we do it.
We've been wanting to do something in August, kind of we survived summer reading program, you know.
Right.
Something along those lines just for appreciation or something, so.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a
I
great
did put
idea.
money in the budget, so.
So what would be preferred? I had on here a May timeframe for a potential picnic, but you're.
Oh, that's
you're
right, I
talking
was thinking August, yeah.
So August, okay.
May is like crazy.
Okay.
Trying to get ready for summer.
Well, what we could do, I mean, we could always announce the Blaze winner way before August.
We can announce it and then say the picnic, yeah.
You could also, instead of doing calendar year, you could do fiscal year for your, and then it would kind of, you would do it like in June.
Yeah, we had talked about that too.
And then you could just do the Blaze Award there at August. So it wouldn't be like as long of a wait and still
Yeah.
kind of have you in that year.
It's just if they're gonna have a picnic, could it be in one of our towns that we have a library in?
Well, my suggestion would be is a neutral area like the state park.
I was
And
gonna say,
there's one at Loudmaster, there's one at Lexington, and there's one at Higginsville. And Higginsville would be good because there's plenty of open space for a picnic. Loudmaster's got 3 shelters. And we could alternate year to year.
Lexington has.
So we could think outside the box and pick other spots, and it's really inexpensive to rent a shelter, and I know how to do. And that's some people.
Yes, people.
But I was just thinking of a neutral ground that's nice and big for large gatherings.
Now, would this be?
And alternate the county.
Yeah, like,
Is this something where they could bring family, or is it just?
oh, yeah, yep.
So who's gonna provide the food?
We're gonna stand around
Grill food.
with no water nearby. Slip and slide.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say, who's providing food if you're gonna do.
We're providing.
We provide the desserts, and then it just be a potluck.
We're
Any
providing.
other restaurant desserts?
Oh, yeah, the deserts.
And it could be something like the library does the meat part of it, and then everybody brings sides or something. There's ways to do it where we're not paying for everything.
And it would be, yeah.
August would probably be good because we can do it like early in the month where school gets started. Because as soon as school starts, there's all kinds of excuses why people can't make it.
I know that would stress them out, or they just wouldn't attend if you did it in May, because, I mean,
Okay.
it's down to the wire.
Well, and even with school activities and stuff too, if anybody that's that young, that has kids and stuff would be,
And May you run it to Mother's Day.
yeah, right, yeah.
Did you say
When
something?
does the reading program end?
So we go 8 weeks. So we start the first Monday in June, and then it runs 8 weeks. So we're, I think, always done at the end of July.
August, the problem always is, usually that first week, people don't have fall tournaments, usually. And they go on vacation, and then the second week, school starts, so. August?
Yeah.
We don't start till the 22nd.
I was gonna say, schools are starting later.
We can't start until after the end of the state fair.
State fair now.
Oh, okay, that's right, I forgot about that. Anybody in class, right?
They always used to start on August 24th, because that's my daughter's birthday. And then
for a while, they moved back to August 15th-ish, because that's my son's birthday. So either way, one of them had to go to school.
I always had to go back to school around my birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
The governor passed it.
Okay, well,
The
see,
governor passed a proclamation saying they can't start till after the fair because there's a conflict for school-aged children to compete in,
that's true.
animal livestock and things like that.
A lot of people in this first part.
Yeah, a lot of people were just not going to school that first week because they were at the state fair.
Yeah.
That'll work then.
My granddaughter Shaw's Love.
Yeah, maybe only if they're not there for, the count day and
After they've
the
done their
vacation.
After they've done their vacation. So, and it really, it doesn't matter what date you pick, it's always going to be a conflict for somebody. You can't pick a date that's gonna make it.
And it'd be, if we're gonna create a tradition, it'd be good if we selected like the second Saturday of August.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what day, it's second Saturday in August, or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So how much money do we have? What do, because we, some of, well, no, I'm just trying to feel our, some of our prizes are money ones. And then we will need
Well,
the
I don't-
Blaze Award.
With the gift certificate, my thought would be to reach out to local businesses and ask them to provide a gift certificate to the Blaze Center. And I guarantee you, we can ask 5 different places, they'll probably give us one each. Then we just have a little stock pile.
I think,
Say, then the person can choose. Like, here's your choice of 5 or 6 different gift certificates, which one do you want?
No expiration date.
Yeah, no expert.
and then the Blaze Award, I picture a traveling trophy, but that's just like with fire. Yeah, and they could display it at their branch.
Yeah. Blazing trophy.
Or administrative office, or where.
Well, I think at the first, the
Every-
first person, there would be where you would want that, where they
Yeah.
show that they,
You know, like,
Are we talking like a 5-foot trophy?
Yeah.
or-
Lombardi, you know, acrylic with flames coming in.
With all the name plaques on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. All right, so anything else, before we take a vote? And do I hear a motion?
I move to accept the recommendations of the committee for the Trailblazer Award and all stuff leading up to it. Somebody make that sound better. Sorry, I started here and I don't.
and I was like, this is gonna be a messy one to make.
Implement the Trailblazer recognition and Blaze recognition programs.
Okay, is there a second?
I'm gonna second that one.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded that we,
I gotta say something.
oh, yes.
Implement and fund.
Okay, just restate your motion, please. This is the motion, listen, she's gonna say the motion.
She moved
Well, okay.
that.
I seconded it. I decided you moved it, since you said it, yeah. better.
Madam President, I move that the board accept and fund the Trailblazer and Blaze recognition programs for library staff and employees.
And I second that.
Okay. All right. The motion has been made and seconded as just stated by Goldie. All right, let's take a vote.
Michelle?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Becky? Yes. Patty?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Goldie?
Yes. And thank you to Tessa and the people who worked on it.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, the motion is carried. All right, now we're down to amending the introduction to the Board of Trustees bylaws. So, if I'm clear on this, we are we are going to change it to where the red is,
So obviously,
Red
this is
writing.
not your complete bylaws. I only did the page where
yeah.
we had discussed, was it last meeting? We discussed,
Uh-huh.
changing that part there in the introduction. So yes, it should be in red, hopefully.
So we're changing this whole section, so how do I say that? What is it? The section of the,
It's the introduction, it's part of the introduction,
so we're just revising the
the
portion,
bylaws introduction.
the bylaws introduction, okay. So does anybody have any questions before?
I just have an editing suggestion. The second to the last bit of changes, it's got the board reviews all applications. Remove that comma and put the word and, since it's only two things.
Say that again, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Since it's only two things, it doesn't need a serial comma. It just needs the word and between reviews all applications and submits copies of all applications to each county.
Oh, I see where you are, okay. And
Accompanied, it says, all applications to each county commissioner accompanied by a recommendation.
Mhm.
Wouldn't we need to say the board recommendation?
By a board recommendation.
I mean, if you want to.
Because it doesn't really specify who is making the recommendation. I mean,
well,
it's implied, but it's not.
Yeah.
About board.
But all applications, municipalities, which have commission accompanied by a recommendation.
Yeah, it says board.
yeah, so that's.
Accompanied by their recommendation?
I like the there instead of a.
There?
Yeah.
I accompanied
Okay.
by an approved recommendation.
They're approved,
Because if we don't do that, then it isn't necessary.
okay.
Any board.
Because I will say the board's had problems in the past without, that the board's recommendation was not submitted. They just submitted the applications and not the board's recommendation.
Not since I've been.
No, it hasn't been since you've been here, but it has happened in the past.
Okay, so let me just read what we've changed and see if everybody is clear, all right? Unless there's more that you want to add. Anybody?
Well, my question is, do we need to read what it actually says, or will this be in the minutes, the changes? Somewhere don't we need to show what the actual changes?
You could just say with changes, like in the motion, if you want to approve it with
I
changes.
know, but I meant for the public to see what the changes are.
So can you copy paste
The
the
new
changes?
bylaw introduction will be posted.
Okay.
So
Okay, yeah, that'll work then.
I do have a couple of the recommendations in the minutes. I mean, but they'd have to take that and then go look at the, you know, to see,
Yeah.
but.
Okay, so let's just make sure everybody is clear. Board members are appointed by the county commissioners of Johnson and Lafayette counties. 5 individuals from each county serve alternating terms of 4 years, which expire on June 30th. Prior to the expiration of a term or a board member resigns, copies of the board brochure and board nominee information form are distributed to the board. The director advertises the board vacancy on the library's website, on social media, and in the newspaper. All applications are submitted to the director, and the director submits all applications to the board. The board reviews all applications, submits copies of all applications to each county commission accompanied by their approved recommendation.
The word and before submits.
And what?
The word and before submits.
The board reviews all applications and.
And
submit copies of all applications.
Okay. All right. Okay, so,
Not to be picky, but where it says prior to the expiration of a term or a board member resigns, can we add the word when?
Yes.
Does not, prior to the expiration of a term or when a board member resigns.
I think
Yeah, that's more
I
clear.
think I put the word if in there in my brain. I didn't even notice that.
I want to suggest something. Where it says, advertises the board vacancy on the library's website, on social media, and in the newspaper. I think we need, local newspapers, or, because you could say, not that you would do this, but we could say we did it in one newspaper, but not in the county, you know, in local newspapers. Would that be?
In, also.
Both counties.
Well, it would only be,
Depends on what seats of.
it would only be relevant to whatever county seat open.
In that county's local newspapers?
Okay, we said prior to the expiration of the term, or when, shouldn't that be, or if a board member resigns?
I like it. Because it may not happen.
Or when, yeah.
Instead of when, but if.
About in appropriate county newspapers.
I'm sorry, you have to say that again.
In appropriate county newspapers. So it would be on social media and in appropriate county newspapers.
Yeah, okay. County. Okay, all right, anything else? What did you say, something about, you said something and it got all mixed up in what we were saying.
That we're fine. We got it covered.
Everything in that county.
Okay.
We got it covered.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
And I'm-
anything else?
What was it we said at the end? Was
And approved.
reviews all applications, submits copies of applications to each county commissioner accompanied by
Their approved recommendation.
approved.
Actually, I already said the word. I just put,
Okay. Anything else? All right, I need a motion then.
I move that we make those changes.
I second that motion.
So, okay. Accept those changes to the bylaws introduction, right?
Yes.
Okay. Second?
She did.
Oh, I did.
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear it either.
I can't hear anything tonight. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so a motion has been made and seconded that we accept the changes to the bylaws introduction for the Board of Trustees. That cover it? Is that what you've got? Okay, all right. All right, take a vote, please.
Michelle?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
Carlin?
Yes.
Becky? Yes. Patty?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Yes, okay, all right, so motion's carried. All right, now you have that down, you think the way that, okay, all right, you're good then, all right. So then, the budget. Yep,
So,
okay, this is just a draft, so it's basically just a kind of overview and what might be coming and whatever. And do we have to approve this, or do we just look at it and
it will be
Carry
brought
it
back to you next, month, hopefully for approval. Just wanted to kind of give you in May, an opportunity to look at.
So do we
kind of
need
where
to
we're at.
make, we don't need to vote or anything? No.
No.
Okay, so any questions or anything you have
Questions?
now?
And under furniture and equipment, there's a big jump from 2024 to 2025, a reduction. So you have 63,000 budgeted in 24 and only 19,000 in 25. Are you anticipating buying all the furniture in 24? Or,
So so when I put things, hold on, it's been a really long day.
I know.
Okay, let me start again. So when the branches put in their budget request, like I said, we take it ask them what they want to take to the foundation. If the foundation approves it, I put it in the budget under expenditures, but then I'll offset that under revenues, under donations, gifts and donations. And so that way, it's balanced there. We're not gonna have that this year. And so there was, like, Warrensburg was what, $14,000, the furniture that they purchased. And it just really depends on what the needs are of our branches, our facilities, what we end up purchasing. Does that help?
That is a big drastic, that is a big jump. That's like $40,000 difference.
So you're not anticipating any large furniture purchases this year?
Well, I mean,
And from what
you guys just have the total, but I have the broken down. So just for example, Holden's last year for 24 was nearly $7,000. Their request for 25 is only $300. So this is what the branch managers request, and that can change from year to year what their needs are. Another example, Knob Noster last year was.
Yeah, but okay, so we budget this money, but they don't always get it.
They do when I'm here.
Well,
The fiscal year's not over
I had
yet.
this discussion with you yesterday,
Uh-huh.
that we have been to all the other branches and they said, oh, this is the furniture we got this year that was on our wish list, and then Holden's got nothing.
Because I was waiting on information from the branch manager. I can't approve just a blind purchase. You wouldn't want me to approve a blind purchase. So until they get
But
me that
they
information. I
send the
can't-
information in, don't they, when they ask
She
for the
did
money?
not. That's what I'm saying. She did not enter a budget request last year.
And so it's taken a whole year to tell her she's not gave you the right information?
Large purchases, we hold off until after January to make sure our tax revenues are coming in as we expect them to. Furniture is very easy usually to push off to the next year if your revenues are not coming in as expected. So we hold off on some of those larger purchases. As you saw, it was what, 60 something for last year. We were okay with revenues by, towards the end of January, and so I started authorizing purchases. I can't help it if she doesn't get the information that we need. But it's been ordered, everything has been ordered, even for the donations that you were asking me about. The furniture's been ordered as well. Then sometimes it takes a while for it to ship, so.
So is she getting the furniture this year?
Yeah.
And she just doesn't have it yet?
It's on order, yeah, it's already ordered, yeah.
So there is still information we need from her? Or
No, I got it,
It just
it
took
was
a while
approved,
longer, okay.
and now it's been ordered. It just hasn't arrived.
I'm not sure, but I don't think Holden got anything the year before.
Depends on what was requested. And I don't have 22.
I don't know. I don't know that.
Did they switch leaders in that time?
They
frame?
did. And so some of the stuff that the previous manager had budgeted for, they may have determined that they didn't need that or want that as well, so. But I don't have fiscal year 22's info in front of me at the moment. But I can look it up and get back to you.
Just off the top of your head, do you know what are we doing any big projects this year? We have plans? I know it's probably in the strategic plan, but.
Some of it is, yes. Let's see, where's mine?
You don't have to be specific, I know,
So we have money designated, let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. So we still have the courier van, because that will not be, like, it's been ordered, but we won't receive it, and so we don't pay for it until fiscal year 25 is what it's looking like. So that money was carried over. We're looking at doing a walkway in between the annex and the branch. And then out to the road where a lot of our people park, because when it's muddy and then we track in and then the custodian has to clean it all up. that's one thing we're looking at. We're also, looking at finish the roof here.
Have they ever got any kind of a bid or anything about maybe putting a parking lot back here? I know it can't be gravel, it's gotta be asphalt.
Right.
Have you guys ever?
Not since I've been here. I think there were some issues with
drainage?
watershed, drainage, something. I think that's what they were talking about, because there was a property that was purchased hoping to turn it into a parking lot, and then they weren't able to do it. They could have, but it would have been like the
I
cost.
don't know why the city won't let you put gravel in there, that would do the drainage and the, cause I just hate that personnel has to park on the street, they don't have a designated parking lot. And, like you say, they have to walk across a muddy lot to even get to their cars.
And that's what we're at least hoping to do, some sidewalks, so they don't have to do that, at least, but yeah. And then finish the roof here that we were talking about. We're looking at doing something for the annex, to make it easier for receiving larger shipments, yeah. And then storage over there. And then we had that list of priorities, and so we're not sure how much this is gonna cost, and so the stuff that we know we want to hit, we do that, and then if we have money left, we start working on some of those smaller things. I think they are, making a priority to, get all of our doors ADA compliant, and so they'll be working with, putting crash bars, things like that. So, that some of our buildings do not.
I know we've had a lot of unexpected building maintenance
Yes.
this year, so.
Mhm.
Okay, anything else, anybody has questions about on the budget?
I was gonna note, that I was sad that the grant amount had diminished so much, but then also I was excited to read that there may be another grant coming in, or
Yeah.
there is interest in another grant opportunity. That's the way I should have put that.
Yep, so you're probably familiar, you've worked with grants, so everybody's like, oh, it's free money, you should just apply for all you can. It's a lot of work getting a grant and monitoring and managing that grant, and all the requirements. We're still trying to clean, I'm not supposed to say mess, there are opportunities, right? Think positive. But all of the things with the transition and everything, I don't want to add something else to the staff at this time. I want us to try to get some of the things lined out and working smooth before we start adding grants. So.
Okay. Everybody okay with what we have there? Okay, announcements?
So we finally got the cell phones up and going, so I didn't even have a moment to look and see what the number was before I came to the meeting. So I will be sending those out. I'll send you, mine and Susan's. The other one, is Katie's, and I don't know if you need that necessarily. But if you want it, I can certainly send it out. And then the other one is for, to stay in technical services for anybody in admin that's trying to do those codes or whatever, so that we have a static phone that belongs to the organization instead of somebody's personal phone. So, but I'll get those sent out. And then I gave you a flyer. Everybody wanted to know if there's opportunities to help. We're hoping to have big turnouts, so if anybody wants to come and help with one of the dinosaurs, because they're coming to all the branches. So Katie wanted me to give these to you guys, and then all you need to do is either reach out to either myself or public services at trailslibrary.org, to let her know which one you would like to help out at.
Have an announcement. Okay, Warrensburg Branch is working with our Writers of Warrensburg group, and on June 1st, we're having a workshop where we're having 3 multi-published authors come in, and they're going to do things on writing craft. It has a $30 fee, not because we're keeping any of that money, but because we have to buy food and some things like that. It is open to people, and we're going to do that also. in the afternoon, in the library portion, we are having, panel discussion with authors, so people can just come in and talk to them about books and how you publish and things like that. And then we're having a book signing, and that book signing is 3 to 4, and we have probably about 14 authors and, all different genres. And if I have flyers, if you think anybody in your area might be interested in, or you can come. That was my announcement.
What day is it, Golden?
Saturday, June 1st.
You have to pre-register.
If you want to come to the workshop, you do. If
Okay.
you want to come to the book signing or the panel discussion, you do not.
All right. Okay, so now, I need a motion to move out of regular session into closed session. Do I hear a motion? That's
Alright.
Okay, she motioned, she seconded.
All right.
Did you get that, Becky? Okay, motion's been made and seconded, and then went to move from regular session to closed session. Vote, please.
Michelle?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Yes. Patty?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right, now. I'm gonna stop the live. Yeah, you wanna stop the live, okay. I have to use the bathroom. Be right back.
Thank you, Jane, for handing out cookies.